9:30. It is time to get our meeting started, but you know we can't get it started until... Boom. You just made it. You are number 5. You're number 14.
Okay.
All right. On-time drawing.
5.
All right.
5.
5?
13.
13. Well, the number is, what is it?
6.
6 is close to 5. 10.
Um,
All right, I'm giving you a choice. So this just came in.
What is that?
It's compliments of Paul. It's a Golden Knights helmet and a banner, or a one-day shirt and mouse pad.
I'll do the first one.
All right.
Congratulations.
We're friends.
Because you're a big fan, right?
Yeah. Yay, thank you.
All right, everybody. So you all know that this used to be the Mark and John show, right?
Yeah.
It's not anymore. We kicked John to the curb. No, don't be telling him that. John was a big part of this office. But now Jim needed more help in Green Valley, so John is now full-time at Green Valley. And I want to introduce you our latest sales manager. This is Emily. And Emily is going to be our sales manager. She'll be physically in the office every Wednesday, Thursday, and every other Friday. However, you do have a phone, right?
I do.
All right, so you can call if you ever have any questions. We're here to help you and support you in any way, shape, or form we can. So now it is the Mark and Emily show. So we're super happy. She's going to be splitting her time between this office and the Northwest office. So.
I have a question. I really like the stats that John provided.
Linda has a question?
I always do. You
Wow.
know that. So, will we be? I use those when we go on listing
Yeah,
appointments.
yeah.
They're so valuable.
Yeah.
Will we be?
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so yeah, the question was, are we still going to be doing stats? Yes, we will be still doing stats. All right. All right, grab your phones. Take a picture of me. Take a picture of Emily. Take a selfie. Take a group picture. And go ahead and check in on Facebook. Check in at the end of the meeting and take pictures throughout, because we have some really great speakers. And go ahead and take pictures of them. Tag them as well when you post. All right, our Rev Up trainings coming up tomorrow is Module 12, Closing the Sale and Creating Clients for Life. Jeff is going to be the instructor. It is going to be live here. I was telling Emily, she's like, should I sit in on it? I said, yeah, you can sit anywhere in the whole office and hear it with Jeff speaking. He kind of speaks loud. Monday evening, 4 o'clock, your database is your business, creating your online presence. John is the instructor. That one is Zoom only on Monday. This Module 12 is live in the office here and via Zoom. And then next week we start all over again with Module 1, Intro to RevUp and GPS, Goals Planning Systems. That's going to start, that we're going live in Summerlin. So for the next 12, starting next Wednesday, we will be at the Summerlin office. So that's Module 1. Then next Friday, a week from tomorrow, is Module 2, establishing your brand and developing your firm. These are geared toward new agents. However, everybody's invited, not just new agents, experienced agents. Everybody's invited. All right. License number 37100.corp. So it's now official. So my name goes on all the documents now. If you already have listings, out there or purchase agreements out there with Damon's name on it, that's fine. Leave it, but going forward, any time that you do a new listing or a purchase agreement, go ahead and put my name on it, my license number, it's all there.
Yay, yay.
All right, blood drive, coming up next month, July 18th. I've already signed up. I think I'm one of the first appointments in, so it is going to be right here in this office. We do it a couple of times a year. Paul Glodowski, who donated those items for the on-time drawing, sets this up. So every, like April, we do it a couple of times a year. So it's a real need. So if you can, go ahead and sign up and give blood. All right, next Tuesday, June 28th is a lunch and learn. What is it? Working with veterans. And Mary Perry is organizing this. She's organizing it in all 4 of the offices so that we can learn how to work with veterans. All right, so it is, we do kind of need a head count to know how much food to get. So RSVP to probably Nicole. All right, then we have a CE class coming up, and when is it? July 8th. Wait a minute. All right, we're good. So, so this guy came and presented a couple of months ago about realtor safety, and he was just in here for 30, 45 minutes or so, and it's really good information. So he has a full 3-hour CE class. Unfortunately, we can't offer it free. There is a cost to it. I think it is $35. But it's really good. I'm signing up for it. I plan on being here. Who was here for his when he was here at our meeting? Yeah, was it good information? You gonna go to the CE class?
I don't know yet.
All right.
No.
All right. Last Friday of every month, we do a happy. Hey, Vicky, how are you? We do a happy hour. And last Friday of this month just happens to be tomorrow. So we will be providing drinks.
I'm coming for that. I don't make a whole lot of these meetings.
And snacks. So Vicky said she'll be here because we're going to have...
Snacks
and yeah. From the very first time we met, you always talked about food in the office.
Yeah, that's how you got me. I was coming to meet him, and Nicole calls me, and she's like, Vicky, are you coming to the meeting? And I was new, and I was like, I don't know. And she's like, we have breakfast burritos. I was like, I'm on the plane. I'm there.
We're realtors. We're all about the food.
She straight called to tell me about the breakfast burritos, and I was like, okay.
Done.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't me. It was.
Oh, it's definitely the same night, all the way.
All right, June 30th, I believe that's next Thursday. We're having a barbecue. We don't know what we're barbecuing yet, but we're barbecuing. We may have a food truck come in. We may just get the grill out and barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs. But it's going to be next Thursday. And every Friday is wear your favorite sport team jersey.
Except for the ones where you don't wear it.
Yeah, there was one time. One time I didn't wear. Every other time I wore.
Slack
There's
it, huh?
3 of us that wore them.
No, last week there was a lot of us. So I will be wearing mine tomorrow. Haven't decided which team I will be wearing. I've been wearing Angels, but they really suck. I'm a Lakers fan. They really suck too. However, I'm also a Rams fan. Super Bowl champ. So every Friday. All right. This is your weekly reminder about Remind, but it's less about Remind than it is Transaction Desk is going away. So September sometime, Transaction Desk is gone, and we won't have access to that anymore. What we as a company are doing is everyone's like, Remind sucks, Remind sucks. I mean, I think there was 1 or 2 agents that actually liked Remind. So what we're doing is we're getting SkySlope forms. And SkySlope forms is you can do your transactions, everything within SkySlope. So there's forms right now in SkySlope, however, it's not the product of SkySlope forms. where you're actually able to create your transaction in there, send it out for signatures through SkySlope. So it's not like you have to go to transaction desk or go to Remind. You're always right there in SkySlope. So that should be happening within the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm thinking. Hopefully we get it before transaction desk goes away. They've already rolled it out in Arizona. I got a sneak peek at it. It's really cool. They've rolled it out up in northern Nevada. We've submitted for approval to LVR, so we're just waiting for LVR's approval, but that's gonna be a game changer, it really will. Has anybody ever used SkySlope Forms? No? It's cool. All right, Stacia, where you at? There she is, Old Republic Home Warranty or Home Protection. Stacia brought our breakfast this morning. And we love when Stacia comes because she always brings a great breakfast. But she's vegetarian, she doesn't eat it. But she brings good stuff.
Hopefully, I also bring
Yes.
other benefits to you as well. But, let me just say congratulations on the changing of the
Thank you,
guard.
thank you.
Congratulations on being sales manager. So, while you're making those adjustments in your contracts, if you want to throw Old Republic Home Protection in as a warranty in your transaction, I wouldn't say no. Today I just wanted to, I don't think that any of you have been at the Southwest or the Summerlin meetings in the last couple of weeks, and one of the things that I just wanted to discuss was that I understand that you all, as islands in and of yourself, even if you're part of a team, are subject to burnout. And it's very, very important that you take the time to utilize the professional and qualified teams that your company gives you access to. Like Rock Title, do you know that they look over your prelims, and if they see something that is a red flag, that they actually will put it highlighted in red? They actually read your prelims for you. That can take so much time away from something that maybe you've missed. Do you know that your lender has tools, your title company has farms they can pull? We have a toolbox too that gives complimentary marketing tool templates, and I'm here to help assist and answer questions. There are just so many resources that you have available to you to help you so that you aren't experiencing that burnout. I'm in different offices every day of the week, and I participate in different meetings and business builders, and sometimes I have some really good little tidbits of information that can be useful to you. One being, I keep my phone in the vault. So.
Locked away.
But if you have an iPhone and there's something on Android that's similar, if you have a document and you don't want to take a screenshot because you're emailing it to a client or a partner, you don't need the pictures, and sometimes not everybody has a touch screen so they can open it up and really look at it. Did you know that you can go to take a picture of a document, and when you go to do that, in the very bottom right hand corner you get a little hamburger. It's 3 lines, it looks like hamburger, and when you click it, it will highlight, it will highlight all of the words and the text, and you can select it all or select some of it, copy and paste it in an email. If you're taking information from a flyer or a sign or something that might not keep its integrity as you're sending it, that's an option for you to do. And then sometimes it's easier for you to follow up in the back of your emails versus follow up on your texts. Texts are obviously instant gratification for reading and whatnot, but sometimes it's harder to follow and you can't necessarily flag those things. So utilize little tips and tricks. Sometimes I come up with something really interesting.
Hey, everybody say hi to Damon.
Hi, Damon.
Look at this amazing group.
So today I just want to, utilize tips and tricks, take advantage of the resources that are available to you from your qualified business partners, and take time for yourself. It's just so important because we can really burn ourselves out. So take care of yourself. I'm here to help where I can. If you aren't working with someone that you like, trust, or have confidence in, I would love the opportunity to earn your business.
Yes.
Let me get this out of the vault. All right, Shawnee with Epic Mortgage doesn't really have anything to say this morning because it's early. They're wonderful. Anyway, but she is a great resource. So if you ever have any lending questions, she's right there in that office across the way, and she's a great lender. So reach out to her. Steph, Felicia,
She's not here, but I am.
Yep.
I'll be quick. I know we don't have a lot of time. Just wanted to let you guys know. QR codes, digital business card. If you can scan this QR code for either one of us, you actually can add that to your home screen on your phone. Have your tools at your fingertip. One touch to get PDFs for all the documents that we always send you, as well as your NetSheet app. So yeah, take a picture if I'm in anyone's way. Really quick, Brad from Escrow is here. Anthony, stand up. If you guys don't know Anthony, farms, profiles, all the awesome stuff you guys are getting from customer service coming right from here. So you can contact him directly if you need to or want to, as well as myself. What else? What do we got? 1 o'clock is
We have trainings on how to get more
campaigns.
reviews. So if you want to get more reviews, say realtor.com, Yelp, Facebook, things along those
Rate My
lines.
Agent.
Yes, so he's gonna be Justin. He's our training executive. He does really great trainings. If you guys haven't stepped in for a Rock title or Rock University event, he'll be doing that today at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so Rock University, register, quick link to the Zoom. Any questions? Any escrow questions, marketing questions? Do you guys need anything?
Can we put that back up later because we can't get it from this app?
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
be here
All righty.
all day.
Thank you.
Well, all righty. Where it used to be stats with John, now it's stats with Emily. And this is going to change the stats that we utilize. Yeah, give her a big round of applause.
This is my second day here, so like.
So be gentle on her.
I know, like Mark said, I'm here Wednesday and Thursday. Office is right there. Just pop in anytime if you have any questions, whatever I can do to help, I'll be here. The stats usually, because I am also in the Northwest, we do the stats there every Sunday. Sunday night, this one comes out, but I'll be doing something similar for the Southwest starting next week. But so far, if you guys are following, whether it's the MLS active and sold and everything that you're seeing, what we see on the MLS, and I just called them to confirm today, those are not just Clark County. They go from Nye County and the other counties for, the surrounding ones. And so if you want to just do Clark County, because that's really where we're selling, then we can give you specifics on those. But if you're following the market week after week, you see that we are increasing in our active
Look at this.
listings.
6,028 active listings as of Sunday. And that's up from 5,400 just a week earlier. So the market is changing, folks.
It is shifting, so if you go to a listing appointment, make sure you bring them the facts, because if they don't know it and they're in the mentality of a month or two ago, that can be trouble, because it's really different compared to what we had like 2-3 months ago. In February, we've had our lowest inventory of 0.7, meaning we had about 3 weeks of inventory in the market. Right now, depending on what statistics you're looking at, we are playing between 1.5 and 1.8.
Where do we find this?
Sorry.
Right here.
But yeah, so if you go onto the MLS, I just checked it right now before I walked in here. They're putting 1.5, but then if you keep refreshing it, it kind of plays around. So I just, to be safe, we have at least a month and a half worth of inventory. And then we have several hundred properties that has adjustment on the price. And so a lot of the sellers and the agents are realizing the houses are not moving, they're not getting the traction they want. So if you're going on your future listing appointment starting today, please, make sure you're pricing it right, because otherwise it's gonna be tougher later on, because then you're just gonna keep cutting the price. just
So
to get
1.8 is still very much a seller's market.
Yes.
It's up to about 3 months is still seller's market. Then it gets more into a buyer's stable market is 3, 4, 5, and then you get more into a buyer's market. So we're still very, very much into a seller's market. 1.8 months is still very low. We're still dealing with a lot of multiple offers, but it's our job. It's our job to go out and educate the clients on what's going on out there. And so we educate you so that you can go out and educate your clients. So the market is changing. How much it'll change, I don't know. My crystal ball is only right about 50% of the time. But it is changing.
Yes. So there's our stat for today, for this week, and then we'll continue to do that week after week.
Cool.
And how will you get it to us? Email or what?
We'll post it on the Facebook groups and in the newsletter.
Thank you.
So we're going to start doing the newsletter again now that we have our second OA. So watch for these things in your newsletter every Friday.
Okay, that'll help.
All right? Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
All right, so next, our main speakers is the Williams-Mitchell team, Shad and Bryan. They've been here before, and they're awesome. The information that they have is tremendous, so come on up.
Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? Excited to be here.
We did this presentation over at the Green Valley office about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Had some really good feedback on it. It turned into a really good platform. A lot of people were asking questions during it, so feel free if things come up. We brought along with us agents that work within our group that have really kind of isolated their strengths and have done really well with certain things, if it's social media, sphere of influence, working online leads. They've really kind of harnessed those areas and perfected them. And so we're going to talk a little bit about consistency and how to really do these things, and how to really start working off your strengths.
Yeah, the cool thing is we really have today 5 different approaches on how to tackle real estate. 5 completely different individuals that operate their business independently with different plans of attack, and what we do on a daily basis is very different. Not that you can see that very well, but this is a Q&A, all right? Us up here talking for 45 minutes sounds miserable to me, even more miserable to you. So please, if you have a question, we have some really cool agents here that are doing big things. Please ask them questions. Like, this is how this gets better, right? If something triggers in your mind that you want, stop us in the middle of it, please. We don't mind at all.
So, quick introduction who we are. I'm Bryan Mitchell, this is Shad Williams. We run the Williams-Mitchell Group. We are the #1 producing team in Nevada. We work out of the Green Valley office, but we do have some agents in the Southwest office and a couple other offices around the valley.
Yep. So I've been doing it full time since 2009. You've been
2005.
2005 full time. Started our group like 3-ish years ago, roughly, and it's gone from there. So we're excited to be here.
Save the good ones for you.
Oh, appreciate it.
I think these are good topics too, especially with the market turning a little bit. To really focus in on some of your strengths is going to be necessary, and to reevaluate your business and figure out how to actually continue doing business as the market toughens, I guess I would say. You know, you guys have had, especially newer agents, have had a very easy time over the last 2 years. It has not been a tough market. It's been one of those things you can walk in, find deals almost everywhere because people wanted to sell, capitalize on the market. Everybody wanted to buy at the time because the rates were ridiculously low.
Right. And today, you're going to hear some good ideas of what people do, right? If you just hear the ideas and that's all it is, and you're not implementing them, you will get nothing out of this. I saw this meme, whatever it was, on whatever social media platform. I forget what the picture was, but the quote said, "A brilliant idea with a weak process is worth nothing. But a weak idea with a great process can generate millions of dollars." Again, a brilliant idea, weak process, worth nothing, right? You can have the best idea in the world, but if you do nothing about it, it's not going to equate to dollars in your bank account, right? But an average or weak idea, but you really implement well at what you're doing, you can make a lot of money with that. So Consistency is key, right?
It's a big thing.
Big part of our business.
It's 100% of our speed. There's so many different ways to make money in real estate. If it's cold calling, if it's farming, working your sphere of influence, there's a million different ways to really go out there and make money and find buyers, find sellers in this business. What Shad and I find when we talk to agents on a daily basis is that they're thrown a million different ideas on a daily basis. And they go and they try one idea once, doesn't work. They try another idea once, doesn't work. And there's no consistency to it. It's like you hear about farming all the time. You send out one mailer, you're not going to get any business from one mailer. You have to build a consistent track record on it. Same thing with your sphere of influence. James is fantastic at social media. He really kind of harnessed that, and he's been very consistent at it and used different platforms and different tools to make sure that he stayed out there. So that's the big thing to us, and the big fault that we see in agents. We're talking about their business with them is they tell me they're working on 10 different things when ideally you should probably be working on 2 things, maybe 3 things if you're highly successful. And the way Shad and I do that on an annual basis for our own personal business, because we're still producing agents, is an annual basis. We sit down and we look at every single sale that we did for that year, and we isolate where those sales came from. And we know, okay, 75% of our business came from sphere of influence, 25% or 20% of the business came from online leads, and we start categorizing where we should spend our time and our money to make sure that we're getting the most out of our business.
Yeah, biggest recommendation is commit. So if you hear some good ideas today that you want to implement, commit to it for a period of time, right? We get calls from new agents, hey, the Vons, they want me on the carts. Or the golf course wants me on the thing inside the golf cart, or whatever it is. Now, some of those ideas are bad ideas. There can be reasons why that's a good idea, but whatever idea that you come up with, commit to it for a period of time is our biggest recommendation. So
one of the cool parts about being part of the Realty One group and working with a lot of agents that have been around for a long time, even if you're not on their team or they're not in your office, they're willing to talk to you about these things. Chad and I have wasted more money in our career than I probably a lot of people have. So we when we get these phone calls, should we put our name on a shopping cart? Of course not. No, it's unless you're really that's your targeted market and you're very good geographically in a certain zip code and it's for branding purposes. There's probably no reason to do it. You're throwing money out the window.
Yep. Yeah, there can be a lot of good. I mean, most of my deals are in one zip code in Henderson. So if I hit every grocery store and my face is on there, guess what? I know everyone. I grew up out there in Henderson. So people seeing my ugly face on every shopping cart they grab at a grocery store, I'm staying present in mind, but I'm probably one of the only people that can say it. Like if you just moved here a couple of years ago and you don't know a ton of people, make good decisions with that, right? Before we have these guys up here, because we're gonna bring them up and have a little panel up here, we wanna identify characteristics of just rock star realtors, right? And this is where you guys start talking, right? What are some characteristics, some personality traits of some of the more successful agents that you know? And I can pick on Jeff, he's one of the only people I know. What are some good personality characteristics? Let's start with it.
Just being honest and forthright. It's just, my thing is just always honest. And if you don't know the answer, all you have to do is say, look, I'll get back to you by the end of the day or tomorrow morning. Do not fib on an answer.
100%. I live by that, right? The whole fake it till you make it can really get you in trouble in real estate. Don't do it is my recommendation. But does every successful agent, and I know we've all worked with some of the same agents, I'm not going to call them out by name, none of them are at Realty One Group, obviously. Does every successful agent operate with honesty, integrity?
Not at all.
No. Why are they successful?
Hustle.
Hustle.
It's those agents that hustle. I've seen agents that literally they have no personality, but they have major hustle, and they were successful. Those agents that some of them that they talk a great game, but had no hustle. They didn't make it.
This is an excellent point, right? For me, if I think of who I would want to hire to sell my house, I think of that, what Jeff said. honesty, integrity, operate with the best of ethics, right? But guess what? Some of the most successful people in our valley, making the most money, I don't even like them as human beings, right? I've dealt with them enough that I have developed a distaste for some of them, right? They're not easy to deal with. Do they ever call you back? No, right? You send an offer, 5 days later, you still have nothing. Like, your client hates you now because you can't get a response. So, point being, it doesn't matter who you are and how you interact with other people. There is an avenue to success for all of us, right? You can be the biggest personality, everyone loves you, high fives, hugs everywhere you go, or you can be an introvert and not a big people person and still figure out your lane in this business. So that's what I want everyone to keep in mind. What are some of the ways that people obtain business as well? Mark kind of looked like hustle, but what are some of the avenues that we can approach? Bryan mentioned sphere of influence. What else do we have out there?
Cold calling.
Cold calling. What else? James does social media. He's going to be up here.
Open houses.
Open houses.
Jim Brooks built his business on that.
Right.
From the start.
And at the beginning, I was like, oh, open house, what a waste of time. But guess what? We've sold a lot of houses on our team from open houses.
A lot.
And I didn't think it would work, where people walked in off the street and said, I'll take it. And we've sold the exact house. I think it happened 3 or 4 times last year. I said it was impossible. I said that doesn't happen, that a random stranger walks into an open house. I always thought it was a ploy to get some leads, get some information, and go from there. But I think with the shifting markets, we have to shift our mentality at the same time, right? So there's a bunch of different ways to go about getting business. Actually, if you guys want to grab a couple of those higher chairs, the panel, if you guys want to come up, we'll get kind of get that going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're sitting, if you're standing. So before we dive into some of the agents we brought with us, we want to dive into who Bryan and I are and how we go about it, right? We identified our strengths. Both of us are local kids, born and raised here in the Valley. So we are, I joke around, we call ourselves dinosaurs all the time. We're dinosaurs in real estate. We haven't been doing it that long. But as far as attacking online leads, social media, all this other things that a lot of agents are experiencing success with, we don't do, and maybe we don't have to do it.
When we've done it in different markets, right?
Yep.
Shad and I had an advantage over a lot of people. We were born and raised here. We had a big sphere of influence. We knew a lot of people. But I can even say, when I started real estate in 2004, 2005, I was a young kid. I was at the time, I think, 21 when I got my license. At that age, you don't have a lot of people that are purchasing homes, right? Your friends they're not in that home buying process yet. So at that particular time, I cold called. I literally sat in an office for 2-3 hours a day, and I cold called every single day, all the expires, all the fits, everything. And it really it changed my business because it gave me the grit to understand rejection, to feel rejection, and to know that you can go continue on. But it also helped me build the business. The first year in real estate, I think I sold 20 or 24 properties, and I would say probably 80% of them were listings. And it was because I sat down and I had that consistency, and I built my business that way. At a certain point in my business, I transitioned over into the default industry. I got fortunate. I got a bunch of default accounts. As the market crashed, I was fortunate to make my way through that. So I shifted again in there. And then once defaults dried up, I didn't have a business. And so I went out and I hired a real estate coach, and he looked at my business and said, okay, what are you good at? What are you not good at? And we really isolated everything. I had grown a large team during the default industry, and I had just given everything away. I was a terrible business person, and it was just one of those things where I came out of it. I didn't have a database, I didn't have things. So we started to learn, and I shifted again on what I needed to focus on and prioritize it. Nowadays, I'm 95% sphere of influence. I would say it's all kind of based on referrals. I do backflow it a little bit with online leads and things like that. And Shad's done the same thing. You were a Zillow king. I mean, you were spending thousands and thousands of dollars.
Paid Zillow for a long, long time till they kind of changed their thing, and and introduced their Flex program, which I saw the quality of leads disappear, so I shifted with that, right? But I think I paid Zillow for 6, 7, 8 years. But again, I paid Zillow in my backyard, where I did get a lot of leads. I closed deals that paid for my monthly expense from Zillow, but the bigger benefit for me was my sphere of influence, which the strong majority of my deals come from sphere of influence. But everyone I went to high school with that still lives out there looking at homes in our zip code, every time I run into them at the grocery store, hey, every time I'm on Zillow, your face pops up on the listing. Like, how many listings do you have? And I'm like, well, you know, the way Zillow works, they're just suggesting agents. They're not all my listings, but thanks for thinking that. But so I got in beginning of 2009, right? Who was in the business in 2009? Miserable, right? Every house I was selling was 60, 70, 80,000 bucks, and those are, you know, those are the cheap entry-level $400,000 or $500,000 houses nowadays. So obviously the checks are way better. Even I'll take a 2% check at today's prices rather than a 3% check in 2009.
Yeah.
So it's identifying what we have going on here. Before we introduce the panel here, something I just realized. I'm going to go through and if you can remember when you got your license, right? James, you're the oldest licensee here.
2018.
2018. Then it goes to Acacia, I think.
2019.
2019. John.
December of 2020.
And Daniel.
November 2021.
November 2021, right? How many people got their license in November 2021 and are invited to like speak to a group of experienced agents, right? He's doing things that I have never done and probably will never do in my business, but he's experienced success in a different avenue, lane of business. So we feel like it's pretty key, pretty crucial, and I just wanted everybody to know when these people got their license. So when you start hearing who they are and what they have going on, but we're jumping into it, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with James Sharp. So James Sharp is actually 2018 licensee. He's actually our sales manager of our team now as well. So he's a great pillar of support within our group. But James has a lot going on. James, quick, give us a minute bio on you and then dive into what you do.
So, been in Vegas since 2004, came out here from New Jersey, went to UNLV, graduated that, worked on the strip, did that whole thing for a while until that eventually ate me alive and ran its course. And then, like I said, just got my, actually was lucky enough to know Shad for a very long time. We used to be neighbors in the businesses that I still own and you used to own, salons and a dance studio. But yeah, thank you for that. And when I got out of the industry after bartending and nightclubs and day clubs and all that, I said to Shad, hey, I want to give this a shot. And he was nice enough to be like, come on board. And I followed him around for 6 months, and that was the best training I ever got. And here we are now.
Yeah, the guy was in my car how many days a week on average?
Oh, man, I was like, I thought you were going to get annoyed with that.
I'm picking up carpool, picking up my dry cleaning. James is with me. But he's a sponge. He's the best sponge I've ever run into. He needs to develop some sort of infomercial.
Add that to my resume.
Yeah.
Best sponge.
Best sponge. So we've identified James's, ton of strengths, but what we really think, social media and then his client retention. Maybe the best client retention that I've seen, way better than mine.
Oh yeah,
way better than mine.
Well, I have that motto though that I never want to lose a client. They're a client for life, and I treat I know this sounds so corny, I treat every client the same, but I really do. I don't care if you bought $1 million house from me or a $1,500 a month rental. I see that rental client as the future $1 million buyer. I'm sure you guys are familiar with like the pop buys where like, oh, it's, I do like chocolates for Christmas, or, I did Lucky Charm, family size Lucky Charm boxes for St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it's like, they're like, what the heck is this? But they're gonna remember me, they're not gonna forget me, and I go drive around town and I drop them off, but I wanna make sure that they're sending me all of their own personal future business, and then everyone's got friends, family, and coworkers, as we all know. And that has paid just massive dividends. I mean, we could talk for another hour about the stories that have come with that, but yeah.
So yeah, as far as social media, right? You literally have met people you didn't know before, sold them how you've cashed paychecks
100%.
from social media.
Yeah.
What are the main platforms you're focusing on?
So my main three are obviously Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business. For any experienced agent in here that have been working for years and years, if you don't have a Google My Business, man, you're missing it. It's like, it's free advertising. Let's face it, everyone's gonna Google you, right? So if you already have all these, closed deals, and you have all these great pictures with clients, and you have all these reviews maybe on Zillow and things like that, that all needs to be transferred over to Google My Business. It can give that client that's maybe on the fence about working with you that extra oomph where they're like, yep, I'm gonna call him or her. Like, this looks really great. It's just like when you go look up your restaurant on Google, right? You always Google it. What are the reviews? Let me see some pictures. Let me get that little extra oomph to be like, yeah, I'll go here on Friday night. I treat Google My Business, I really do think Google My Business has now leapfrogged Facebook and Instagram in terms of importance in my mind. I treat them all the same. When I close a deal and we take the picture with the big corny cardboard key and we're smiling at the title office, I post that on my Facebook and my Instagram, but you can also post it on your Google My Business. It's just an extension of those. It's called the update section. There you can post it and a whole description of what it was. I'm so happy my clients found their dream home, happy to help them, looking forward to helping them in the future, whatever it may be. And then you get them to leave you a review, and you just build out this whole massive page that, again, like I said, just looks so professional and so well done. But those are my three that I focus on. And I used to be a TikTok hater, but I've actually come around now, and I'm starting to do more video. I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing video, but once you get rolling on it, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Do we have a bunch of new agents in here too? Are a lot of you guys new? Yeah, Google My Business, it's a good platform too for newer agents because they don't verify your reviews. So you can start setting up and getting reviews from your friends, from your family, from everything that are unverified. Whereas in Zillow, for instance, you have to sell or rent a house to somebody to actually claim a review. And to allow, Zillow will allow you to claim it at that point. Google My Business, you set these things up and you start building out your review base through there without any sales. And you can just post pictures of houses and the office and things like that.
I'm terrible at updating my Google My Business, but anytime I'm meeting a client at the office, I use the office a lot, right? Whenever I sign someone with Rock Title, I use the Realty One Group conference room because I want them coming into my home, and we have cool looking offices, and I look a little bit more legit. They've been dealing with me for 30, 60 days. I meet them at my office. I hop into my Google Maps, I type in Shad Williams, and it pops up like a regular old business, like you're looking up for In-N-Out or Starbucks, and I share that Google pin, and it's got my ugly face on it, and they're like, click on it, and their maps take them right to my office. So I utilize it as just, it makes me look cool, but the data that you get from it as well, you see how many views, very user-friendly on the data.
And again, like I said, it's really just free advertising because Google does a really good job. I'll probably get 2 or 3 emails each week of like, oh, this picture has 30 views on it, or I could talk forever about this. Just the insights of how many people visited your page, how many people called you, how many people sent you a text, how many people went to your website. There's a lot of good verifiable data that comes with having that Google My Business. I can't think of a good reason that you don't have it set up. It's a no-brainer. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's just an extension of your brand and your business.
So this is an interesting one. Do you do it yourself or do you automate it?
Okay, so I have now gotten to the point where I've outsourced it to someone else who is very in-depth in all the algorithms and the constant changing, and I don't want that to discourage any of you. We all can easily get it set up and rolling. I'm now probably 2 years into mine, so I was able to kind of outsource it because I just want someone, I guess the takeaway from that would be that's how important it is to me, that I want someone monitoring mine almost 24/7 every single day. And she'll add, she'll create posts and add it for me if I have a slow week or I don't have anything going on. So that's how important it is to me.
Yeah. And then I think we need to rewind the clock to 2019. Okay. So James Sharp is locally famous in Henderson, at least Realty One Group Henderson.
So back in 2019, it was the Raiders' last season in Oakland, and I was sitting in our tiny little office when we had it. It was just really me and you back then, and I didn't have anything going on. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 deals under my belt, I had nothing but time, and I was like, okay, the Raiders are moving here next year. I was like, that's 53 guys that need a new house. I was like, okay, I got nothing but time. I pulled up the team roster, I pulled up Instagram, I added every player, and then I sent them all a DM on Instagram.
Now, pause.
Yeah.
Those of us that were in the business, the Raiders are coming to Vegas. I know you all thought the same thing I did. Man, I would love to sell all them houses. I wonder who's going to get all those deals.
How do you get that?
That's where my mind stopped.
Right.
Continuing with Jay.
Who's gonna get all those deals? Certainly not a kid who just sold 2 houses only. But anyway, I was like, hey, if no one responds, I'm right back where I started. Okay, cool. So a week goes by and I get one response, and it was just like, yeah, that sounds cool. Hit me up after the season. And I was like, okay, sounds good.
It was all, you DM'd them all on
That was
Instagram.
it.
A
Just
direct message on Instagram, every player, personnel, coaching staff.
I think I threw a couple of them in there.
Yeah.
Whoever I could find on there. So the season ends and I'm like, oh, I gotta follow up with this person. I didn't even know who they were. End of the season, I literally go back and I check and I'm like, who was that person? It was Darren Waller. And I go, oh my God, it's Darren Waller. I was like, this guy was just on my fantasy football team. This is really before he broke out, like before he became a name. So, but now I have another bridge to cross. I'm like, is he gonna respond? And so I sent him another one. I was like, hey, congrats on the great season. Thinks that we came up a little short, but are you still interested in taking a look at some houses? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in town, in 2 weeks. Come pick me up from the M Resort. Called Shad. I said, Shad, I drive an old Dodge Charger. I need your big Cadillac Escalade. And Shad was like, what are we doing? I was like, we're taking Darren Waller out. And Shad was like, are you kidding me? And so we take him out. We show him some blue heron homes, some this and that. And he was like, hey, this is all a lot for me. I think I just want to rent right now. I was like, hey, no problem at all. We got him a rental. Obviously stayed in touch with him. Didn't have to twist my arm to keep up with Darren Waller and how everything was going with him. He loved those blue herons. We checked out Obsidian first, a little out of his price range. Then I heard about Dragon Rock inside McDonald Islands. Lower price point. And I was like, oh, and it's near the practice facility. This is gonna be perfect. I hounded, his name is John Tavel, he's the Blue Heron guy. I hounded him. I was the first person up on that mountain. The day that trailer opened, I was there. And I was like, this is perfect. We got Darren in there. He loved it. Now, COVID hit. We didn't even know if there was gonna be an NFL season. I was like, oh my God, this is just my luck. Anyway, long story short, we finally closed on the deal in January, 1.8 million bucks or whatever it was. He's super happy. We've become great friends. I'm actually 4 years in recovery myself. That's the beauty of this whole story of the one guy that responded to me also had, drug and alcohol abuse. He was kicked out of the league. He's like 4 years and 8 months sober. I'm 4 years, 4 months sober. So it's like, this was just meant to be. It was a really, really awesome, cool story. We've become great friends. His foundation is doing amazing things in Vegas, and we're hoping that his house is going to be done in December.
Yeah,
so
thanks for having us.
The best part about it financially for James, the way Blue Heron works, he's cashed that paycheck months ago.
Yeah.
Right? Money's in his account, paycheck is there, so he's staying in touch with them. So, again, all of us think, man, I was like, I'd love to sell a house to every single one of those Raiders. I did nothing to do. Since then, you've gotten a couple rentals for a couple other players, right?
Yeah.
A WNBA, you were in touch with Jason Witten that didn't pan out. But so he's taking this and he's not stopping with that, right?
I've gotten Darren's cousin and his best friend that moved here from Georgia rentals. They're gonna buy, next year and stuff. So yeah,
right.
It's great.
What a great foot into the industry.
I almost sold in Dragon Rock to someone. What lot did you buy? Just out of curiosity?
41 or 42.
It's hard to tell my client they would have been neighbors.
Yeah. Stick it to them now. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah. It's pretty excellent. So that's kind of the long and short story of who James is and how he approaches business. Been here a long time, but didn't grow up here. His wife and they own a dance studio together, so they do have some connections within the community. It's not like he's only selling houses from social media. He dips into the dance moms that are there, sells houses to all them. But I would say strong majority is who you are in your social media.
Social media, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was the new construction your first transaction?
Which one?
the Bee Gees guy?
Oh, no,
Australian
that was a
Bee
good
Gees?
one too.
That was-
Yeah, that was like 3 or 4 transactions, but that paid off all my credit.
Third or fourth transaction in, he's out of town, and he's like, man, I just posted one of those like stories. Which kitchen do you prefer, like white cabinets or dark or whatever?
That was it. It was an Instagram story of which kitchen do you like better, A or B? And what I liked about it is it got engagement. So when any one time someone would vote on it, whichever one it was, I was like, oh my God, I love that one too. The other one's terrible. Well, it turned out this was a girl that went to my gym like 4 years ago. I didn't even talk to her. And she was like, oh, I love B. And I was like, well, when are we getting you a new kitchen? Like, when are we getting you this new? Because you always have to ask for the business. She's like, well, me and my boyfriend have kind of been looking. Oh, okay, great. Well, what's your price point? Oh, $1 million. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, would love to take you out. Oh, okay. I was out of town. Shad filled in for the first couple showings. Then and I almost lost him to new construction. He walked in with, it was terrible. Anyway, I found him a standing inventory back when, standing inventory is kind of coming back around. D.R. Horton, Emerald Home, 850, 4%er. Got him right in there, dream home, took that check over to the Bank of America across the street from Green Valley and paid off all of my credit.
Right. From an Instagram story.
From a which kitchen do you like better post.
Right. So I would really encourage you guys, if you see James hanging around after here, and this is something that is up your avenue, pick his brain. He's an open book.
Yeah.
He tells people more that I'm like, man, that's like a nice little trade secret. I can keep that to yourself. No, that's not the way it works, right?
It's free of charge for Realty One agents. I charge outside.
Right. I would strongly encourage you to pick his brain, see who he is, see what he's all about, right? We're going to move on to Acacia Smith. Acacia, when did you, 19 was your license?
Yep.
For 2019, all right? So Acacia really is, we kind of, sphere of influence, who you are, what you know. Give us a little background on it.
Yes, okay, so I came out here in 2010 from Minnesota. However, I had family out here, so I was always back and forth kind of like during the school breaks. So I know I kind of already had a lot of friends out here, but when I started real estate, all my friends are a lot younger, so they're not buying houses or maybe doing rentals, but I was always kind of like, I made it a point to always be the source of knowledge for them and always kind of just bringing something to the table, even if I knew that they weren't doing something. It just kind of keeps me in their mind as the professional in the industry, and they do send me other people or other referrals from that. And besides that, I did work a lot of online leads that I got to know and became friends with a lot of people that I worked with and asking them for referrals, where I've been fortunate enough to have all my business be referrals from either online leads or lenders that I've worked with last year or previously. So I do cater to everyone that I work with, my clients and the vendors. I go to a lot of lunches, a lot of brunches, a lot of dinners, and just kind of try to stay social out here and always networking and meeting people. And they say a lot that it's the majority of what people think about you is your personality. So I threw out the window just kind of being a robot or going through scripts and whatever, and just really just being myself, and people respond to that. So
yeah, for me, I find it to be the most challenging thing, probably because I'm like old now, but I get done with my day. The last thing I want to do is go to a cocktail hour somewhere or something like that. And every time I talk to Acacia, oh, hey, I was at this event or something, I just got a new client. I'm like, man, I wish I was not so tired all the time and lazy, whatever you want to call it. So
what Acacia has really done well too is building out the database to make sure that she's following up with the clients that need to be followed up with. I saw your spreadsheet at one time, and it was impressive. I mean, it was really
particular about my spreadsheets.
Yeah,
and it's pretty too.
It is. It's all colored for a spreadsheet, and like
changes colors, it's coded, everything goes in its place when you type it in, and yeah.
But you hear a lot about CRM being the key to a successful real estate business. It's true. You need to have some kind of database there where you know who to touch and who to follow up with on a consistent basis. And that's what Acacia's done extremely well.
Yeah. So asking for the referrals and asking for the business, I know you're not a strict person, which I love, right? Give us a few scenarios of how you're introducing the fact that you're an agent and you want their business to just random casual conversations. Sorry to put you on the spot with that one.
How do I introduce that?
How do you introduce and ask for the business?
A lot of people will ask me what I do anyway. I don't like bring it up right away. A lot of the times it's because they like my outfit or something. And, oh, what do you do? Or something like that. That's happened a lot. And then I'll bring it up. Oh, I'm an agent, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of come with the questions without me, you know, just kind of shoving it all in their face. And, you know, leave off with a good note, and I'll say, hey, here's my card, you know, send me a text. And if I do kind of get their contact information in that spot, I'm definitely following up with them in the next couple of days. I try not to be the super annoying agent, so I do spread out my touches, but I always like to try to be top of mind, whether it's a phone call, a text, an email, a letter in the mail. I do like newsletters quarterly, so and try to send that out to everybody that I add into that list all the time, and stay consistent, you know, with the people that I'm sending them out to.
That's my favorite approach too. I do the same thing. So if it doesn't come from like just who I know and who I've worked with in the past, golf is one of my big resources that I utilize, right? I have a golf bag, has my cheesy name on the golf bag, like a pro golfer looking type of deal, and it says Realty One Group, Homes Life Streams. I'm serious about golf, and people know they could take it. Like I'm not there schmoozing everybody up, but the club that I'm a member of in Henderson has a Friday game every week, and there's 40 to 80 different members, and it's Dragon Ridge, so a lot of high net worth people, and they pair you with a different group every week. So I calendar Friday golf game every single Friday. Now I don't make it every Friday, but I want to get paired with different people all the time, because by hole 3, 4, 5, or 6, we're walking back to the cart, they see my golf bag with my name and Realty One Group, and they say, oh, you work in real estate. They're initiating a conversation with me. So I do things strategically just like that. So she wears cute clothing, and you know, I'm never gonna get that. No one's gonna say, hey, nice polo, dude.
We talk about doing things with a purpose a lot, and real estate shouldn't be painful, guys. You gotta find something that you actually enjoy doing, what you like doing. You know, we're avid golfers, so we enjoy doing that. It puts us out in front of somebody. You're stuck with us for 4 hours, 5 hours, and inevitably the conversation is going to come up. What do you do? You know.
Yeah.
So it's finding something that you're interested in, and really pursuing that, and then letting that be an arm of your business.
Yeah, there's a couple of agent golfers at my golf club. They just joined. They're terrible at golf, which is everybody's terrible at golf, by the way. But they have the hat with their company name on it, and they're leading with that, and people don't like that, right? The opposite approach is what I try to take, and I'm there for golf with, in the back of my mind, how is this gonna benefit my real estate business? So try to be a little bit more subtle with it, so I try to employ a lot of what Acacia does as well. Yep. Moving on to Johnny, and if you have questions for her as well, please, hit her up after the meeting or stop us at any time. John Perales over there has the best nickname on our team. It's Johnny Sells a Lot. I'm sure he actually hates the nickname, but we love it. Yeah, it's James's fault, right? So John has, I think, maybe one of the more envied businesses. You said end of 2020 you got your license?
Yeah.
So just over a year.
18 months.
18 months now that he's been doing real estate, and ton of trends. You know, what's your count? You're at 15, 16, 17 transactions, something like that?
21.
21 transactions, sorry, lowballed you. How many of those were online leads?
I mean, it's people from zero.
Zero.
Like people from like my sphere of influence contacted me through Facebook, but yeah, most of the sphere of influence.
That's sphere of influence. So Johnny is straight sphere of influence, and I don't think he goes by Johnny, by the way. John is straight sphere of influence.
And John creates what we call soldiers better than anybody I've seen do this. We consider a soldier somebody that's going to go out and sell for us, right? So you have a good friend, you have a coworker, somebody like that you know just refers you a ton of people. I mean, and those are soldiers. Shad talks about all the time, one of his best soldiers, he's never sold a house to. The guy's just a good friend of his.
Hasn't need to buy or sell a house in the last 15 years, and I'm waiting for him.
He's probably got 15 houses sold from
But the guy refers me someone, he's high up in Metro, police officer, and I sell more houses to police officers through him than I ever would have dreamed. So I take care of him like he's bought and sold 50 houses from me because he's gave me a lot of paychecks. That's what John has done. John's kids are low 20s now, and they're buying houses, and their friends are buying houses, and John coached all their little league, so all these kids that are all coming into adulthood are all buying houses. His wife is out there grinding. His wife John flipped a house like 8 months into real estate, bought a house, really got a great deal on it through his wife, one of her coworkers, bought it, and absolutely killed it on just his wife knowing that when she's having a conversation with someone and it comes up, oh, I think it was the lady's father-in-law that needed to like
her grandfather.
Her grandfather needed to go to facility and tell the story, John.
Yeah, I mean, I try to speak to, like, especially I started with my family and ask them you guys I need your help. I'm starting a new career, late in the game. I'm 46 years old. I need I need the help. I need, so I did. And my wife got this one, her friend at work, young girl, she actually went to high school with my daughter. She was like breaking down, crying, my grandfather's dying, we need to sell his house, we don't have no money to put into the house, blah, blah, blah. So Bryan and I went over there, we were trying to list it, and it needed a lot of work. So we left there, Bryan and I talked, and I think Bryan reached out to Shad and was like, hey, let's buy this house together and flip it and get them the cash money they need right now. And it worked out just perfect for them because we closed in like 10 days.
Yeah.
And they didn't have, his affairs were not in order. So like everything would have been all messed up. So they were able to close the house before he passed away. He ended up passing away like 6 days after we closed, I think. And so it all worked out. They were super happy with what they got, and it worked out great for us.
He was in default, right? He had quit paying for quite a while. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, he was good.
But they were going to walk away.
They just, yeah, they did.
They didn't know.
They didn't know what to do. They had no money. They had like zero money. They couldn't paint. They didn't have money to buy paint.
Oh, like $100,000 on a house worth $400,000 or whatever the numbers were.
Yeah.
So we basically went in and said, hey, look, we'll pay off your mortgage, put a couple $100,000 in your pocket, whatever the number was.
If he would have passed away, would have had to go through probate. They didn't have anything in order. I mean, it was just a complete mess, and he was on his deathbed. So it worked out for all parties.
Yeah.
But I guess basically, like, my business structure is just talking to the people I know, like people I used to work with. I was in that business for 20 years. They all knew that I got laid off and was starting a new career. So just call people and ask them, I generally don't like first thing, hey, I'm doing real estate, do you know anybody or whatever, but I just call and stay in touch with people and just see how they're doing. And, it was a whole process of, making these phone calls once a month, every other month, depending on, the feel I get for the person. Do they want to hear from me every month? I'll call them every month. If I feel like they might not want to hear from me that often, then I give them a couple months. But I just ask for their help. Like, hey man, I'm doing this new thing. I need to ask you for your help. And if you know anybody that's buying or looking to buy or sell, send them my way. Do the same thing with my kids. Now I'm actually just getting phone numbers for my kids and calling their friends as well too, because I know these kids pretty well. They're all 25 to 27, and I just reach out to them, see how they're doing, remind them that I'm doing real estate, and it's been working out for me really good, and I think a lot of people enjoy hearing from me, and they bring it, like Acacia was saying, they bring up real estate before I do. Like, there's so many times I call and have a 10-minute conversation and hang up and we don't even talk about real estate. But they heard from me. I know, they will, if a real estate transaction comes up, hopefully, they'll think of me. And now, don't sleep on the out-of-town people, because I've really stayed in touch with my family from California. And now, like, some of my dad's cousins that I've connected with on Facebook are retiring and moving out here. And They don't know how to do Facebook. They're worse than me.
No, you're good. You've come such a long way, John. I'm so proud of you.
But yeah, he'll like one of his cousins just like messaged. I think it was on Acacia's post. I think you shared.
I was wondering, I was like, what's going on here?
That was my dad's cousin. He's like, John, call me, and put his number on there.
Like, should I call him?
And so it's just, it's been, and I think the biggest thing for me, just to keep it short, is I've taken like, Shad and Bryan and James, like, they have really helped me out a lot, and I've taken everything that they've, kind of put out there, and I've tried to implement the things and do the things. I rode around with Shad a lot because we live right by each other, so he lets me, hey, come by, I'll help you write up that offer or whatever. I can literally walk to his house, not that I ever do, but.
He's a great example of doing just enough of everything else as well that benefits because his sphere of influence is everything. But how many times are you or your wife actually posts for you as much and tags you? How many times a month would you say you post on social media on average over the last 12 months? Once or twice?
Yeah, maybe I try to do it at least once a week, but I don't always.
2, maybe 3 times a month he's putting a post out there. So he's doing just enough social media that's benefiting his sphere of influence, right? Because he's staying present in their mind through hey, just sold this house post or whatever it is, which is still reaping the benefits. So might not tie it directly to social media on a lead source, but that's where it's coming from for sure.
I also, like Acacia had mentioned, like the cocktail hours and stuff like that. I kind of reached out to people I used to coach baseball with that I knew from Little League and soccer and that I hadn't hung out with in a long time, and I just reached out and was like, hey guys, you want to get together? And like you and your wives, there's like 4 or 5 couples, we all get together. Now I'm like regenerated friendships, and they reach out to me all the time. Hey, you guys want to get together for drinks or dinner? And I try to like add people to the group, like, oh, we haven't talked to this person in a long time, let's invite them. And just try to, grow the group a little bit. So.
Right.
Yeah, another thing John utilizes really well is goal setting. He's from the very start. He said they don't want to have one escrow in at close every month, or one in escrow every single month. And he's really stood by the goals that he set in front of him.
Yeah, and he reached a lull. What was it, a couple months ago? I was like, hey, Shad, I need to sit down. I don't have one in escrow. What can I be doing? And just pick my brain. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Try this, try this, try this. And
he popped 3.
Boom, boom, boom. Started rolling for him as well. So it's staying present in mind and being knowledgeable of what's going on.
Yeah.
We only have a couple more minutes here, so we're actually going to drop to Daniel. Daniel may be one of the more intriguing ones for me because he can convert online leads as well or better than I think anyone I've encountered in my business, right? Daniel, break it down. When did you get licensed again? 8 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, licensed in November 21. Didn't really even start doing anything until January 2022. I don't do full-time real estate. I got a full-time job that I work from home Tuesday through Friday. I tell these guys all the time, 5 in the morning to 4 p.m. So the majority of my day is gone. By 4 o'clock Thursday, I'm ready to hit the couch, right? Not a whole lot of stuff jumping out, but one thing that these guys have done for me though is by joining their team and just letting me just kind of like on my Monday off, hey Shad, Bryan, James, you guys got something? Let me jump in the car with you, like they always said. But they use Op-City, so everyone like hates it, right? They're like, I hate Op-City. I don't get nothing from it. I'm closing number 5 on Monday from Op-City. That's my goal.
So what are you doing different than the rest of us? Because I get an online lead and maybe I'm judging too quickly, maybe I'm too lazy, maybe I'm not genuine, I don't know. What are you doing different?
Because I have better hair than you, I'm sending a picture.
No doubt.
Really, my full-time job I've been doing for about 14, 15 years is customer service. So my thing is connect with that person. Connect with the person on the other end of the phone. They're calling for a service, whether that's to buy something, to sell something, just because they're like, hey, I just want to like look at this. So I connect with the person before I try to sell them anything. Right. So my first question every time is, hey, how are you doing today? Every time. I don't even know this person's name. I might not know their name. I'll call them by their name if I know it. Hey James, how you doing this morning? Hey James, how's your afternoon going? How's your week going? Something like that. Just to get the conversation started, understand who the person is, and then get into the, okay, so I see you're looking at this place here. Is this the only place you're looking at? Or are you looking at something, you know, in a broad range? And then we just kind of narrow it down from there, because like I said, I've been doing customer service for so long, I just adjust to everybody's personality. We all hear it a lot. There's 4 different personality types, right? Some are directors, some want to get in there and I just want to buy this. And I'm that lucky person to get them and say, hey, I just want to put an offer on this. You know, there's no real science behind what I do. I'm just being available and connecting with the person instead of seeing that paycheck, because that check's gonna come later. Whether you know it or not, it's gonna be there.
Yeah, and he's good at speed to lead too, which we talk about all the time. The second lead comes in, it's getting there and being in touch with the person as quickly as possible. You let that lead fester for, I mean, the staff's ridiculous. I mean, if you get to a lead like under 10 seconds, your conversion rate is much higher than after 5 minutes. The lead drops down to next to nothing converting these leads. So it's literally somebody has interest, they're showing interest, and online leads, they're probably talking to other people. So it's getting to the person first.
One of the things Daniel does, which I love, a lot of us agents deal with an online lead, and what's the first question we ask that buyer? Are you pre-approved for a loan, right? None of us want to get in a car and drive 12 minutes down the street. But we'll sit here and waste an hour on social media doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
For me, I told Daniel, look, the best 30 minutes of your life is in front of someone face to face. So he's like, you want to go see this house? Let's go. You want to go right? And his day job does give him some flexibility too, that he can answer the phone and he can take off if he needs to. So I know he'll go straight to the house, unlock the house. And the trust you get from someone by doing that and not saying, are you pre-approved? Because I don't want to get in my car and spend $6 a gallon to drive down the street, right?
Yeah. One of them comes to mind, like what you're talking about. I take this lead, and I was talking to the lady, and she's like, when can I see this house? And I said, you tell me when. I'll be there for you. I'll unlock it. I'll be there. And I'm in Henderson. The house is in North Summerlin. And I think she was like, well, how about, in 30 minutes? I said, give me 45, I'll be there. I'm sitting there in my home office in my shorts, my basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, give me 45 minutes, I'll be there. And guess what happened? 45 minutes, I was there, opened the door, wrote the offer that night.
So it's pretty cool. And he also possesses a lot of good traits. A lot of us can go and lock the house all day. We can show him houses. We can keep showing him houses every day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Whatever he's doing, and I think for me it's engaging in real conversation and finding out what their needs are, but he can convert them to actually write the offer as well or better than anyone that I see. Yes. Are you doing anything special or just saying, hey, you like this one? Like you're just asking,
just a
right?
connection. Just a connection with the person. Again, I'm not selling it. You hear it a lot. The house is going to sell itself. And at first I'm like, yeah, but you still have to, talk to them, right? So I connect with the person, and then eventually that conversation of how much do I have to put in here to bring this thing home? Give me some keys, right? And I'm like, well, let's talk about it. At that point, you turn into a little bit of a salesperson, right? You start talking about it. But I've already connected. I know Shad loves to go, right? If I'm with somebody and I'm like, well, this person's a Jets fan, I'm gonna be like, but I'm gonna put my love for the Raiders on the side, right? And talk to them about football. I know these different things. Just connect with them on different levels. It's not always sports. It's I love to go out and have coffee. Cool. Where's your favorite coffee spot? Just a connection with the person. That property is they're gonna see the property. They're gonna like it or not.
Guys, we ran short on time, and we also failed on the Q&A part of this whole thing. And I'm going to put that on you guys. Maybe it's actually should be put on. There were no Q's and no A's really here, but we want to get it closed down so we can close on time.
Yeah.
I know some of these guys are going to be able to hang out for a few minutes. If you have any questions for anyone, please don't hesitate to ask. We really appreciate you guys having us over here. We value our relationship. Big congratulations to everybody over here, and look forward to seeing you guys. Appreciate you guys having us.
Hey, thank you guys, thank you panel. Remember, no matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. They've all chosen to be great. Let's go out and be great. Thank you.